after pounding on my rawhide today. These rawhide straps were left over from putting the tension on the drum, and I didn't want to throw away any of the parts because it felt like such a sacrifice from the animal that gave it to me. So I made this drum in like 95, and it was about finding more of my feminine energy. And I always intended to soften this. So today when I softened it, I went in the little area back here and sat on a stump, and I began to play the drum just with a heartbeat and then stronger and stronger rhythms. And the more that I drummed, I just had my eyes closed. And it's like the colors from the drum intensified, the red and the yellow. And with each wave from the drum beat, it was like the waves were moving over me, and the red and yellow was getting more and more intense and just moving into me. And I took it, it was like it flashed through my head. Here I have all these hot flashes because I'm in perimenopause and it feels like I'm on fire. And the red fire was washing over me with the drum beat. And it was just like it was giving me the energy I need for this next phase that I'm moving into.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Oh my God! One of the great, it's a rattler. The rattler is one of his. Like the sea.
That's the prettiest one I've ever seen.
Yeah.
The rain stick. I've never seen. That is beautiful.
Anybody want to rattle?
Yeah.
Vibrations coming from it, so if you don't mind, I'll just move and if you want to feel the vibration.
Big thunder in the ears for the pooch. You think that their level of hearing is like so. That must have been really like sounds echoing through a canyon in his ears. Lovely, beautiful. Thank you.
I mentioned earlier that Artemis was my favorite image of the day, or favorite's not quite the right word, but the most striking image for me. And it seemed to me today that I realized that there's been different animals that have been important at certain points in my recent life. And I feel now that she sent those to me. A few of you I mentioned, my father passed away just 5 weeks ago, and it was a long 6 months before he died, and he was the caregiver for my mother, so it was really caring for two people, even though I couldn't do the care 100% because I couldn't afford to quit my job, but it was so energy draining. But they lived in an area where the deer would come outside their window. And it was the energy from these animals that kept me going. I just, every day that I was there to help care for them, wasn't really quite sure how I was going to get through the day. And I'd always go to see if they were there. Mm-hmm. And I know there was like one day that they weren't there all day, and I was panicked. I was just panicked because I thought, I just can't do this on my own. So,
Oh, what a great sentence. I can't do this on my own. Did all of you hear that? Take that in. We need our spirit animals. She's so right. They do so much work for us. We can't do it on our own. I mean, in every level. Thank you. Thank you for that.
I just want to tell you one more part was that it's usually warm where they live, so the deer would usually come in the evening when it was cooler, of course. And that was fine. I would come to expect them. But my dad passed away at home about 9:30 in the morning. And at the very moment he died, we looked out the window and this whole group of deer came. And they spent the entire day with us. Entire day. And even my brothers who, could care, really. I mean, we just don't share really the same things. But even my brother said, Mary, they came when Dad died. I go, well, yeah, I know. I mean, that was no surprise to me, but it was just beautiful. It was incredibly beautiful. And so we took pictures of the deer, and so my dad's memorial service, we put the pictures of the deer and chose readings about it. So it's but today was even more special because, I know now. I mean, I knew they were special, and I knew I needed them, but I today really feel like Artemis sent them to me. So.
Well, indeed, and let me tell you, if you don't already know, does and fawns are the two animals most closely associated with Artemis. The votive statues that you find in all of her sanctuaries, from little ones to ones this size, a votive statue is in ancient times, when you went to pay your devotion to a particular god or goddess, to this temple or that sanctuary and so on, you bought a little token to take to her or to him. And most of the, and of course, because they're like Catholic, they're like the Catholic holy cards. I mean, when the archaeologists dig in these places, they find millions of them, because over the hundreds of years, you can imagine if everyone's going on pilgrimage and leaving behind a little image. But so many of them are images of her just to her waist, and she's holding her arms like this. And there's a little child here. Remember that she's the the sanctuaries are like orphanages. There's a child here, and there very often is a doe, is a fawn here, and very often the fawn is looking up at her like this.
Oh,
Goodness.
That's
That's beautiful. Thank you for that story. So here is this fierce fierce goddess, and yet the votives, the images of her with a fawn and a young child,
So gentle.
really. Well, thank you for leaving behind your energies in my studio. I treasure that. I do believe in energies staying in places. And the care with which you looked at the imagery and really loved being with it and in my sacred space. And that you have held my horse tail and gazed at this and gazed at that. So I loved our time together there. And some of you are going to the sweat tonight. Is that right?
I don't know.
Oh, I see. That might not be happening. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, I think everybody's a little tired at the end
Yes,
of the day
okay.
to do a
Okay.
sweat.
Okay, yes, okay. No, well, that was my first reaction. that
Yeah.
It's because sweats just empty you
They
utterly.
do.
You are utterly emptied.
I don't think any of us would be able to come back tomorrow.
Then you're not allowed to go to the sweat. Listen to Mom. No,
That
you
is a
can't go out
priority.
tonight.
Myra has spoken.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
He knows it's powerful.
Oh, say, look at that snake. Well, that would scare him. He knows what that is.
It's okay.
See, yeah, Mom, I don't know. I think maybe I should take it. He doesn't like you to have this.
Oh, sweetie. Oh.
Oh, my God, Mom's got a snake in her hand.
Oh.
Dogs and snakes are eternal enemies.
Compatible.
Just to save all of his sheep from those snakes.
Psyche carries it.
So protective of you.
Oh.
Well, it's very sweet to be silent with each other. Colleen, weren't you going to show us your crow, the one that you fired last night?
Oh, I can get it. It's done.
Well, I thought it was, yes. I'm not sure everyone saw it. It's, you know, the Erda House is kind of in a state of permanent, wonderful chaos. So unless you wandered over to see it, I don't think you would have seen it. No, I love Erda House when it's like this kind of just, you know. I love it, which is what my studio's like. It's not that I cleaned it up for you, it's just that I haven't been doing creative work, so it looks pretty orderly.
It's really nice and neat.
And you found some feathers, good for you.
I did have some at home.
Oh, you had some at home,
I
okay.
thought I might in my sweat lodge, but I wasn't sure, and I
You
did. have
did.
some.
That has turned out most wonderfully.
Thank you.
Very, very interesting. Very nice.
Every time I see her now, I will remember this retreat, and I like that.
Yeah.
You know, to have something that brings you back.
Mind Red, is there anything more when we were in Old Town and looking at the fetishes and asked about the bundle on the back and she just said it's a spirit bundle. Is there anything more when we see the fetishes and there's something that's wrapped?
Well, yes, they usually, of course, as you perhaps could imagine, the first thing, when I acquire them, and if they come, I never buy when I need a fetish, I go right to Zuni, which is where they're carved. And it's usually they're not prepared, it's just the naked stone. And then I do my own. This is just, you see how, this is just still red from the last ritual from a few weeks ago. But the first thing, if sometimes people give them to me, and I take the bundle off because I feel strongly that you need to make your own bundle. And it can be obviously anything you want. I mean, I've seen people use little buttons for whatever reason. So you really need, usually they come with a little arrow, and the people in the shops will tell you it's the heart energy, and that's fine. But it's, you just need to make, any sacred object you really need to make your own. It might, and in fact, fetishes really ought to be given to you. So if you want one, you ought to go with a friend and have the friend buy it, so she can give it to you. They really, it's about gift giving. And you wouldn't can say that about all sacred objects, of course. And I don't mean this in a negative way. I mean, I have bought a drum, and from time to time I will, if I see a fetish that I find most beautiful or very unusual, but when I was building my studio, I didn't know what animals wanted to come live in the studio, and so I went to Zuni and just spent all day just going from place to place, looking at mountain lions here and mountain lions there, and just kind of was with them, and then certain animals came to me, and then I knew that those are the animals who wanted to live on my 6 altars. And now, and my sisters are here, and we're in Santa Fe, and, they're looking for a particular fetish to take back to Milwaukee for a friend or something. I'm there, so I'm looking. And once in a while, I find a really outstanding one, which I might buy for someone. But I only, if I need a fetish myself, I go to Zuni, because I feel that that's where they're from, that's where the people live who make them, and that's where, and the drive from here to Zuni is so beautiful. It's almost a wonderful excuse to go. Have you done the drive to Zuni? It's really quite magic.
Where is it?
It's south and west from here. It's very near the state line with Arizona.
South of Gallup, if you know where Gallup is. It's not
Straight
far
off
from Gallup.
40.
Yeah, well, that. Yeah.
Arizona, New Mexico
Yes,
border.
I
like
go the
north.
back way. I don't
yeah, I
go
do
the
too.
the front way. But anyway, it's it's just a beautiful, and it's a long day if you do it in a day. But it's if you have someone to share the driving, it's quite feasible. So, sorry, now what was I saying? I think, was I answering a question, or?
Yeah, about the bundle on the back of the
Oh, the
fetishes.
bundle. I take it off because it's, to me, it's like decoration, and it's there to sell. I mean, to kind of sell the piece. And I just feel that to tie on the bundle is to tie on your own needs.
What is it?
Sorry.
Sorry. Thank you, Colleen. Yes. Wonderful.
It is.
It is.
That's going to be a beautiful addition to one of your altars.
It is.
Secure enough there?
And the thing about fetishes these days is they've really turned into beautiful little carvings of animals. You can get a fetish of a hippopotamus or an elephant, and they're beautifully made. But the thing now is that they're made with tools, grinding tools, and little, those tiny little grinding tools. And that's another reason I only buy the old ones, which are still made by hand. And how simple they are, the old ones. And the stone is often very important too. Sometimes I feel when I look at them, the stone isn't right for that particular animal. But then, of course, those are just my own feelings. The families at Zuni who have been making these fetishes have been making them for generations, and it's families. So the Shishi, I usually buy only Shishi family fetishes, and they have a family look, and they use these. I say they use the old. They have a feel for the old about them. But I'm told that fewer and fewer of the young people want to do these old ones. They want to do the really fancy carvings, a rattlesnake with every little scale. And And they're beautiful, but they have become really beautiful miniature sculptures of animals. And they've lost their, okay, babe. I know, dogs have to do that. I know all about this. Let's see, what's stopping me? Oh, the table. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Your Highness. Your Highness.